thanks everyone for being here. We've got an amazing crowd for what I expect to be a really fantastic and informative discussion. I also want to thank you for being here at CES and specifically at C-Space. The folks at the Consumer Technology Association have worked really hard to make C-Space the real focal point and the gathering point for individuals and companies and media and marketing and entertainment space. And this year they've taken it to a whole new level, and I hope everyone enjoys the programming and exhibits, not only today, but throughout the week. My name is Brent Weinstein. I'm the Chief Innovation Officer of the United Talent Agency. I'm the least interesting person here by far. I am thrilled to be on stage with Tara and Daniel. And I think before we jump in, I would love each of you just to briefly introduce yourself, talk about your role at your respective companies, and then we'll get into the discussion. We will save a few minutes at the end for some questions, and if there are no questions, then I will just keep talking. So I would rather hear from you. Tara, why don't you jump in?
Great. Hi guys, I'm Tara Piper, and I head up entertainment, music and gaming for the Coca-Cola Company. What that essentially means is that I help our brands, our customers, and basically everyone inside our building leverage pop culture and passion points to elevate our brands and make our programs fun.
Fantastic.
I have a great job.
Daniel?
You did. Hello, Daniel Cherry. Work as CMO of Activision Blizzard Esports Leagues. It's a mouthful. We go by ABLE. And ABLE is a leagues division within Activision Blizzard that essentially takes our gaming franchises, the games that hopefully some of you play recreationally, and builds franchise leagues out of those games. So Overwatch League is our kind of crown jewel, and Call of Duty World League is another one of those leagues. We also have StarCraft, as well as World of Warcraft, and Hearthstone and several others. But the unique thing about what I do is I take the kind of best things of what is sports and entertainment and gaming and combine them. So live experiences, as well as online and digital engagement, and I love it.
So just quick poll of the audience. Raise your hand if you actively watch esports. So that's a pretty great number in the audience, but there's also a lot of people who didn't raise their hands. So I want to set the table a little bit and level set for everyone. First, before we get into maybe some statistics, both of you in your respective careers have worked a lot with traditional sports. Tara, you at Coke, and Daniel, in your previous positions. Were you surprised at the uptick of esports? I know an analyst, Rich Greenfield, posted something interesting on social media where there was a conversation between a younger person and an older person, where the older person said, I can't believe that you spend all day watching video games. You own all the systems, you don't play them. What's compelling about watching them? And the young person responded by saying, you watch football all day and I don't see you out in the streets strapping on a chin strap. Talk about how, as you moved into this space, you were maybe surprised by or inspired by the uptick of people engaging in around esports.
Well, from our perspective, surprise, no, to answer your question. But I have to give a major shout out to one of my old colleagues who was a complete gamer. And he understood it more than, say, our larger system at Coke may have been ready for it. So we've taken, I would say, a pretty measured approach the last few years in, tapping, putting our toe in the water, playing a lot on the mainstream side, mostly with gaming, and using our customers and, finding ways to, work through the gaming community, kind of the same way we would approach whether it be a celebrity or a traditional sport property, like you said, and because we care about what our consumers care about, and our consumers care about gaming. So we've been slowly moving into that space and getting our company ready, who are used to things like NASCAR and other sports that you can activate, and there's lots of bells and whistles.
The Olympics.
The Olympics, perfect example. And so I'd say that we have slowly been getting the company ready for it, and in that, we've had some great wins, and where we are today is definitely keeping an eye on this space for sure.
Absolutely. What I was most surprised by and inspired by now that I'm in this role isn't the size or scale, because many folks in traditional sports marketing and entertainment still are late to soccer. globally.
Right.
So if you think about that, no, you're not. A lot of stick and ball sports marketers are still kind of surprised by how big soccer is. But when you just look at the sheer size of the number of folk playing video games in the world, participation is a big stat that sports, right, companies, sports marketers, and leagues look at is participation. The more people play, the more likely they are to attend. And when you think about the size and scale and scope of gaming, there are more people playing video games in China in the next couple hours than there are people in this country. So the scale is there. The question becomes, how do you take what has historically been the Wild West and standardize it and put a structure around it so that brands and an ecosystem can be built around it? Otherwise, it's just games. And it's not a bad thing to be a game, but the basketball is a game. The NBA is a league. So what we're trying to do is build a structure so that we can take all the passion from that game and build something that all of you can plug into as a fan, a partner, a network, a supporter, into the system that we think is pretty robust and pretty profound and truly global.
And I think, Coke is an example, one of the world's largest marketers. Getting involved is a real indication that the space is maturing and that it's not just as much of the Wild West as it used to be. Again, for the people who aren't as familiar with the sector, let's sort of just level set a bit. Call of Duty and Overwatch, two of the biggest brands in gaming, Overwatch being, as you said, your crown jewel. How big is it? How many teams are there? How many regions do you operate in? How many players? What's the prize purse? What are some interesting statistics that can help we can start to understand an Overwatch league as compared to, let's say, FIFA or Major League Soccer or the NFL or anything like that?
Sure. Well, I'll start by saying that we're only heading into our second season. So 2019, February will be our second season. So all the numbers and the information that you see on this league
of
Overwatch League is profound, given that if you rewind to any of the sports leagues in their second year, we're far, I think, superior than any other traditional sports league in our second season, given that we have an ESPN, ABC, Disney XD deal, so you can watch Overwatch League on any of those channels like you can traditional sports. But to give you a basic overview of the structure, we have 20 teams in Overwatch League that are global, and those teams participate in a league season, just like traditional sports. So you'll have any preseason where the expansion teams can get up to speed. We have a regular season, we have playoffs, we have our grand finals, which is our equivalent of a Super Bowl.
And there's one season per year?
And there's one season per year, just like other traditional sports.
What is the season?
And the season runs from February through essentially September, late September, with an all-star game in the middle. So we have a regular season MVP and a postseason MVP. And the teams themselves consist of 8 to 12 players. The game Overwatch as a esport is played 6v6, so 6 players versus 6 players, and all those players are playing at an arena that we built in the old Johnny Carson studio lot. So times have changed since then. Where entertainment was a couch, a chair, and a mic, we now have esports playing in that exact same studio with Johnny Carson's bathroom in Burbank, and all the teams play in that arena this season. The goal is our teams, just like other traditional leagues, are to play home-and-home matches around the world, just like any other league you see on television.
And what's an example of the stakes? Like, what does an esport athlete make on average? What are the stakes in terms of prize purses?
So sure, the minimum salary for an Overwatch League player is $50,000 minimum. So there are salaries, just like other sports, far superior than that. The good thing about these players is that they also get health care. So they get minimum salary and health care. They get nutritionists, sports psychologists, all the right things that you see from traditional sports. They receive those same benefits. Now the prize pool, to your point, are in the hundreds of thousands of dollars for certain stages. So think of them as mini US Opens or Wimbledon or French Opens. Throughout the course of the season we have stages, and then we have the grand finals, which that prize purse is millions of dollars. So players are playing for 7-figure purses in the grand finals, similar to Call of Duty. Call of Duty, we have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands prizes for the stages, and then we have a grand, kind of a COD championship, Call of Duty championship, which is like our Overwatch League grand finals, which also is millions of dollars in the prize purse. And the players obviously divvy that money up, but they also receive bonuses like other athletes based on performance. So the stakes are high.
And Tara, as companies like Activision were bringing some maturity and sophistication and structure to what historically was the Wild West, talk a little bit in more detail about Coke strategy? Because you said that for the years, and you had a colleague at Coke for a while who was very invested in the space, that you were dipping your toe in the water. But that was a time when it was the Wild West. Gaming has been a lifestyle for many, many, many years. It's only become a structured professional sport in recent memory. But you were way early in supporting gamers and supporting the gamer community and supporting